Hey everybody, welcome to another exciting episode of QTP It is my job here to teach you automation from A to Z with using the awesome tool of Quick Test Professional. Thank you so much for tuning in, and today we have a very exciting episode for you guys. I have found through my career that many individuals only try to master the use of Quick Test Professional. They don't actually realize that automation is much more than that. Yes, Quick Test Professional is a very powerful tool that has so many capabilities, and personally I love it. However, automation is much more than just using a tool to fast forward your manual actions for you. Automation extends past that. To help you achieve your new level, I want to teach you a add-on tool. It's an IDE called Test Design Studio. This tool is something that's separate from QTP. However, I use it on a very daily basis, and it helps so much with automation in general. In fact, let's go over the benefits of this tool. First is it helps with organization. Second is it has a very helpful Intellisense. And third, as a result of the organization and helpful Intellisense, you get much faster and more efficient scripting. And if you have much faster, more efficient scripting, everybody's going to be happy. You're going to be happy because it's going to be easier for you to maintain your scripts. A few months down the road, you can always go back and open up your script and realize what's going on in there without having to spend hours analyzing it. Your teammates, if you're working with more automation engineers, you guys can easily hand off script from one to another and have no problem maintaining. I can't count the number of times that I was at work and opened up someone else's script and I had no idea what was going on. Sure, I understood their code, but I had to sit there for several hours, analyze the flow, figure out what function links to what function, what is returned, and so on and so forth. And with the use of this tool, it makes everything that much more easier. So anyways, let's go ahead and get started so that I can help you guys with this Test Design Studio. So let me go ahead and open it. I already have it open right here. And I want to open a new function library where we're going to write a few functions so that I can show you some of the awesome features. So to do that, we go to File, New, File. And here we see multiple different files that you can open, whether it's Quick Test Professional Tests, object repositories, environmental files. But I want to go with the function library. So let me open that, and right away you see this very useful description here. You can go ahead and fill it in with whatever you want. Any kind of details, very helpful documentation. And I always stress the importance of documentation. Many people, many professionals, many experts, they always recommend that you document, but I do notice that in the field, documentation and commenting doesn't happen so often. But trust me, 1 30-second comment is going to help you that much more in the future when it saves you a few minutes where you don't have to analyze a certain code. So anyways, today's function that I'm going to show you guys is going to generate a date, and this date can be used as a unique identifier for whatever you want. It's a unique timestamp, and I use it many times for creating a unique folder or creating a new unique file and so on and so forth. So let's go ahead and get started. First, I am going to declare a few variables. Okay, now let's give some values to these variables. It's going to equal, and first, now let me stop here and discuss this. You guys get to see one of the features that I wanted to talk about was the Intellisense of Test Design Studio. You can see here, you get all of the possible options that you can declare here. Okay, then if we go back to date part, we get an awesome description that describes what this method does and even what it returns. And if I hit enter, open the parenthesis, and I get all of the parameters that you can pass here. Sure, you get this in QTP, but what you don't get is the description. So imagine if I don't tell you what this function does, although the description is not too hard, the name itself doesn't tell you much. So let's actually do this. Let me open QTP and show you guys how much more efficient this is versus Quick Test. So we can actually open QTP from here by going to Tools, Launch Quick Test. And it takes a few seconds, and as soon as it's open, you guys will see. Okay, awesome, here it is. And let's try this. Let's try in QTP to get the value of, let's just do 3. Okay? So let me put year, day, and month. Oh, and look, I just realized I misspelled it anyways. So let's try date part. And sure, I get a description of what to insert, but how do you know what value to put in here? How do you know? Unless you have Test Design Studio, what you have to do is select this function and you have to click F1 for help. And we get this, you know, very extensive, very great Quick Test Professional help menu. However, it is very burdensome. Can you imagine sitting here trying to read all of this every time you're lost and every time you need help? Yes, it's awesome. You will learn a lot. I've learned a lot from it. But sometimes you don't have the time to sit and read through everything. So it's a very common scenario. And therefore, that's why Test Design Studio is so helpful. But anyways, let's try it. So for year, I need to pass, I need a year, I need a day, and I need a month, right? So I need to pass this for year, this for day, and this for month, okay? And it's, okay, so let's do it. Year. And now another inbuilt-in function. Again, you have no idea what it does, right? Unless I tell you, or unless Test Design Studio tells you, you have no idea what now is. So therefore, we have to again go to F1 and find now function, and then we figure out that it returns the current date and time according to the settings. Okay, so now we know, but with Test Design Studio, you wouldn't have to open that menu and read. So let's do a date part, day, now, and now, month, date part, month, now. Okay? So that's that. Let's try with Test Design Studio and see the advantage. Date part. Let me open the parentheses again. Look, what I want? Year. Now. Okay? Day. Date. I see I don't even have to finish typing it. I can just hit enter right here and it will open up for me. Day. It's right at the very top. Just hit the down arrow. I got my day. Got now. Let's do month. Date part. Don't even have to finish typing. Now you want to get the month. It is, look at all the options I have, and it even shows you it's the month. Piece of cake. Don't have to open any help menu. And now what about minute? This is where you can see the real potential. Because look, I hit date part and I open the parentheses. What is minute? Well, it can't be M because month is minute. So now you would have to again sort through the menu and find out. I personally know that it's N. And you can easily find that out from either looking right here at the N, or you can look down here where it shows you in a nice comment right there. Minute, and let's do second. Date part. Oops. Second. Now. Done. Okay? And this is where you get to see the real potential of Test Design Studio because it makes life so much easier. It's something I believe that QTP is missing in that their Intellisense is not as useful as it can be. Anyways, so let's go ahead and continue. Let me show you guys something that I really like about this Test Design Studio. So now I want to wrap everything up in a function, right? All I have to do is highlight this, right click, and I choose surround with. And then I can go down to VB script, click enter, and choose this, declare a function. Right away, it gets wrapped up in a nice little function, and I can give it a function name. Okay, that's what we're going to call it. And let me return a value. And what's it going to return? We're going to get the month concatenating with day and year and minute. The minute and the second here are just to make the string more unique, so that, you know, of course you can create, I personally have created hundreds of folders on the same day over and over, so those aren't going to be unique if it's just the month, day, year. So you need a minute and a second just to keep it unique. And I'm going to put that it's a minute, and here we're going to put second. So now we're going to get the string back. And second. Okay? So now I have purposely misspelled function getCurrentDate so that you can see the runtime error handling that Test Design Studio has that QTP would not have. So let's look at this. It got highlighted all in red, and it's showing us that that string does not exist in the current context, which is awesome, because in QTP the way it would work is you would have written this function, you would have executed, and then you wouldn't have gotten any result back, and you would not have known what happened until you debugged, and then you would have figured out that you misspelled the function name, and then you would have copied and pasted, and then your function would have worked properly. But here I didn't need to do anything because of the runtime error handling. And look, it's showing even more problems that are occurring, that it needs some kind of a statement terminator. And I look over here and I notice that I'm missing an ampersand. So let's insert that. Let's see, missing an ampersand here as well. Missing an ampersand here. And that's it. So now, no more underlines, and we got a function good to go. Another way you can easily write a function is just by writing in function, and then if you push tab, it will create the function outline for you. You can fill in the function name and then come in here and fill in the rest of the definition. But let me show you one other thing that I really like about Test Design Studio, and that's its comment capabilities. It makes it so awesome and so easy to comment that I include this with every function that I write. So all I have to do is come right above the function and put 3 apostrophes, 1, 2, 3. And boom, right away it creates a XML style summary of my function. And here I can include, you know, something that describes the function. In month, day, year, minute, second format, like that. And look, it even asks for a return type. I can say return type is a string, and it returns a string representing the date. Okay, and that's it. That's a comment. If it has any parameters, which you guys will see later on when I create a sub, it also adds it to here. And so now look, you have a perfectly working function created very quickly thanks to Test Design Studio. If you would like to test it, let's go ahead to QTP. We can paste it in here and let's test it. We get a message box so that it will print our function, and let's run it. F5 is the shortcut to run in QTP. Just in case some of you may not have known. I see many individuals always going up to the run button and pressing it. I'm sorry guys, we're having technical difficulties and the QTP license server is down, therefore I can't show you how the function works. Well, I can, but it'll be really slow, so it's not worth it. But trust me, it works. Take a look yourself on your own QTP. And let's move on. let me show you guys how to create a sub with Test Design Studio. Now, I think most of you guys are familiar with the difference between a function and a sub, and that the sub does not have the capability to return some kind of a value or an object, but a function can. So a sub pretty much just performs an action. And I want to show you guys a sub that will just create a new folder. Again, this is useful for so many aspects. Whenever you need to create some kind of a temporary folder to store something in, or a new unique folder to store data in, this function will be very useful for all, and I hope that you enjoy using it. So let me declare some objects, file system object, and let's do this. Again, Intellisense kicking in, and now you guys get to see what kind of options I have with create object. So look, what shows up is this menu. These are my recently used objects, and then right here is all registered types. Let's go ahead and choose that, and I want scripting. There it is, scripting. I can hit enter, and now I get all of these options as well. I can choose file system object, and that's it, created. Very quick, error proof, because you don't have to type everything in. Now we need, now that I created, first I need to check to make sure that the folder doesn't already exist, right? Because if it already exists, then I should probably delete it. If I push tab, it will open up the if, then and if loop. And I want not objfso. Let's see the IntelliSense. See that? I can see all the options here. Very helpful. It tells me all the parameters to pass. Okay. And I want to check folder exists. And let's pass a parameter here. Okay. Then if it doesn't exist, then I want to create it. And very simple, you can easily just choose from the menu, even if you don't know all the methods. I'm going to copy this and insert it in here. Okay. But if it does exist, so let me give you guys some comments. But if it does exist, we will not create a new one, so we can just print a message. And let's insert the folder path here. Okay. And if is here, and of course let's clean up. Very important to clean up the memory space. Let me take this and set it equal to nothing. Okay. Again, I will show you guys how to easily wrap this up into a sub. Just highlight everything, right click, surround with. We go to VB script, and let's declare sub. Boom, wrapped up very nicely in the sub shell, and let's give it a name. Okay, create new folder, and it's going to take a parameter of folder path. And you guys see this being highlighted right here, that it doesn't exist. So it's already telling me at runtime that, well, I know that it's because it hasn't been declared. But in QTP, you wouldn't know that until you run it, and then you get some kind of an error. Now I can put that in here, and now it's not going to complain anymore, because this is a parameter passed to the subroutine. Again, you guys will get to see the awesome commenting abilities. I just put 3 apostrophes, and this summary comes out. Create a new folder based on the file path passed to it. And let me not say file, let me say folder path. okay? And then parameter name, it's type string, and this is the full folder path to be created. Very quick and easy, right? And it's going to be so helpful in the future whenever you want to utilize this function and you have all these comments to help you with it. And of course, it doesn't return anything like the function because it's a subroutine. So far, I have shown you guys how to create a function with Test Design Studio, how to create a subroutine, also how to comment for both of them, and the awesome Intellisense that Test Design Studio has. Also, you guys got to see the runtime error handling. That's so useful because you don't have to run the script before finding out all of the errors. Finally, I want to show you guys a feature that I know most people probably do not know about. Or maybe if they do, they don't really utilize it. I personally have not utilized this feature until recently, until I discovered it in Test Design Studio. I'm sure everybody knows about QTP inbuilt environmental variables. These are environmental variables that hold certain values. However, in order to be able to utilize those variables, it's a very complicated process. You have to go into QTP, you have to go to File, Settings, Environment, and then find the inbuilt environmental variables and figure out what they do. Well, here in Test Design Studio, it's much easier. If I wanted to find out the value of some environmental variables, all I have to do is type in environment and open a parentheses. And right away, it shows me all of the inbuilt QTP environmental variables. And along with them, of course, I get a description. Very useful, right? So I can show you two very useful ones that you can use, like test name, which will return to you the current test name. And then there's also, we can do, what else do I want to show you guys? Local host name, also very useful. Sometimes you may have manual testers accessing your scripts in order to run them, and you may want to create a unique folder for them with their host name. And so that way it can be traced back to who ran the script and who got the results. Both very useful. And let me give you guys some comments here. I hope that's self-explanatory.
Okay, everybody. I'm going to wrap it up here for today. I wanted to say thank you all so much for taking 30 minutes out of your day and tuning in to see my videos. I hope that they were very helpful for you, and just remember, I'm here to teach you guys everything to make you a better automation engineer. However small it may seem to you, trust me, it's going to make you better. So anyways, I always appreciate some kind of feedback or comments, so feel free to leave those. And if you guys want any more awesome material, you can find it at qtptutorial.net. And thank you guys again. Hope to see you next time. Take care.